Howdy. My name is Tara, and I hope you're having a terrific day. And if you're not, I hope this video makes your day just a little bit better. Please consider subscribing and liking if you enjoyed this video. You can also find me live on Twitch, found in the description below. It has been almost 2 weeks since my last Tales of Crestoria unit analysis videos, and I, like many others, was hoping that Tales of Crestoria would actually be out by now, but as we all know, it is not, and we still don't even have a release date. So to help pass the time, I've actually decided to create a mini-series, not a full-fledged series like my SSR unit analysis videos, but instead one that's aimed at analyzing some of the most notable SR units and also showcasing how SR units actually fit within Tales of Crestoria. Today we'll be discussing all of the wonderful SR units shown in the background, which are going to be Veigue, Senel, Norma, Emil, and Rose. These are characters that may not necessarily be the most meta SR units once the game releases, but they are ones that notably have an effect on the party that they are in. Please note that the order these characters are shown in doesn't necessarily denote how good these characters will be. We'll start off today by discussing Veigue. Veigue is a water element and longsword type unit. In our SSR unit analysis videos, we actually noted that water has some of the weakest SSR units aside from Kanata, who is also a water element and longsword type unit. Throughout the water element though, there are multiple SR characters who have seemingly overloaded passive skills. Veigue, for example, has a passive skill that gives 7% attack up to all water element units and a 12% attack up to all longsword type units. Which, if you think about it, makes him the perfect complement to someone like Kanata, because she meets both the water and longsword requirement. This is the highest attack boost possible at 19% if a unit is both water and a longsword type. Veigue just drastically pushes up the damage that a longsword composition would have, and Veigue also has some degree of hit generation on a lower cooldown of 3, with the ability to apply weak. Weak is actually a status effect that we didn't see amongst the SSR units, but what it does is it reduces the amount of health restored when a unit receives healing. In my opinion, Veigue will be a pretty premier SR unit for the longsword composition. Up next is Senel. Senel is the SR unit I am the most excited to see how he actually plays out, since he is kind of fundamental in making a martial artist composition work. Senel is a fire element and martial artist type unit. His passive skill gives a 3% chance to reset art cooldown to all of your characters, no matter what type they are or what element they are. His passive also gives martial arts types a 20% attack boost when a 20 hit is achieved. As seen in our other SSR unit analysis videos, Velvet and Kronos both have insanely high turn counts, and having a unit which provides some degree of turn count reset aids in making them a little bit better. In addition, Senel is a great hit generator because he has arts that give 7 and 15 hit. Being able to generate some form of hit just makes him that much better at being able to fulfill the prerequisite to making his passive 20% attack up fulfilled. Paired with someone like Saray, they actually both can work in tandem to provide the 20 hit required during the first 2 turns of combat. Senel can also apply a decreased defense by 10% at an astonishing 100% chance, and him being an SR unit means his damage doesn't necessarily compare with a SSR unit, but having a kit that allows you to push the damage of your other hard hitters to being that much more effective is actually a great attribute to have. Now on to Norma. Norma is probably the SR unit that I have heard the most talked about within the community on Discord and on Reddit. We know that the only SSR unit that can provide any form of active healing is that of Mazilia, and Mazilia's kit isn't necessarily the most support orientated. Norma is a wind element and arts type unit. Her passive skill provides a 11% HP up for all characters, which just kind of makes your team a bit more tankier. Her revive art heals all allies by 20% of their max health, and her rally art buffs all allies for 3 turns, giving them a 40% attack up. This 40% attack up is absolutely massive, and the fact that it can last for 3 turns just makes it that much more insane. Her heal, on the other hand, may not be the biggest one, but with enemy attacks being largely random, the ability to heal everyone may actually be more effective compared to someone like Mazilia, who only has a single target bigger heal. Norma's largest downside has to be her turn counts of 5. Both of her arts having a turn count of 5 means she just has a massive amount of downtime in between her buffs and healing. The only way I can see this practically being combated is by pairing her in a team composition that has a high chance to reset her turn counts. Okay, now it's time to get on to Emil. When it comes to status effects in the game, wildfire is probably one that I think could have massive implications. Emil is a dark element and sword type unit who's a potent user of wildfire. Wildfire could honestly be the best status effect. It places a debuff on the enemy which causes them to take damage whenever an ally is damaged. Saray was one of my highest rated SSR units due to his own ability to spam wildfire every 3 turns through his mystic art, and sometimes 2 turns when he has the appropriate Memoria Stone. Emil, on the other hand, can use wildfire from turn 1 unlike Saray, and then every 3 turns after, making him almost as good as Saray at applying wildfire consistently. Outside of wildfire, Emil also has a passive skill which provides a 5% health boost to all characters. His passive also gives a 6% chance to remove all status elements for all of your characters. But, as said before, his most notable attribute is going to be how adept he is at applying wildfire. This next one is completely a niche pick for me. Rose is an earth element and dual blade type unit. Her passive skill gives a 20% attack up to all characters when a 20 hit is achieved, and her passive skill also gives a 6% chance to reset the art turn count for dual blade types. Rose is one of the few units who possess a passive 20 hit, 20% attack up, which applies to all characters. Most of them only apply to a certain element that they're a part of or a certain weapon type. So having a pillar that can branch to multiple elements and multiple weapon types could actually be pretty fundamental when you're creating a team composition. This does make her most useful in compositions who are focused on getting 20 hits per turn. If you remember back, Leon is the dual blades type unit who I gave the best rating in the SSR unit analysis series by being another dual blade type unit who is also capable of resetting dual blade turn counts. She makes a perfect complement to a team with Leon on it. Rose also has the added caveat of being able to increase the offensive power of your team by 5% for 2 turns. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more Tales of Crestoria content. In the coming week, I will be sure to release another video on additional notable SR characters. And if you want more discussion in the meantime, head over to my Discord or catch me sometime on Twitch found in the description. Bye bye now.